Okay, so we are finally getting into the trial with chapter 17. We're hearing both sides of the story with Mayella Ewell. Remember, she is the white girl that is accusing Tom Robinson, the black man, of raping her. Okay, so we're hearing some of what actually happened, some of the story. Mr. Ewell is her father, so we hear from him. Mr. Tate is the sheriff that is called to the scene. So that's what we're hearing about at this point. So we're hearing the Ewell's side of the story. So Atticus at this point is talking to the sheriff. Atticus asks 3 times if Mr. Tate called a doctor to tend to the Ewell girl's injuries. And all 3 times Tate says no. Then he asks Tate to describe those injuries. These are very important, so make sure you're paying attention. He says she has bruises and a black eye. The right side of her face, this is key, where the black eye was heavily bruised, and there were finger marks all around her throat. Okay, so these are her actual injuries. Mr. Ewell, who is Mayella's father, an extremely rude man, gives his version of the story. He comes home to hear Mayella screaming inside the house. He runs to the window and he saw Tom Robinson raping her. Atticus continues by asking Ewell about his daughter's injuries, and he confirms that the sheriff's description was correct. The next question is whether Ewell can read and write. Ewell answers yes. Atticus has Ewell write his name and then states what that action demonstrated. We find out that Ewell is left-handed. So you have to remember what Mayella's injuries were. The right side of her face, she has a black eye, it was heavily bruised, and finger marks all around her throat. We find out her father is left-handed. So that's important. So what we learned from Mr. Ewell's testimony, Mayella's injuries are on the right side of her face. Mr. Ewell is left-handed. We're going to talk about why this is important, okay? If someone is left-handed and they are punching someone, their punch would end up on the right side of the person's face. Okay, so is it plausible that Mr. Ewell, Mayella's father, could have created these injuries on Mayella? Yes, because he is left-handed. Okay, so that is what Atticus is trying to prove. We also find out the following. This is about Tom Robinson. His left arm was fully 12 inches shorter than his right and hung dead at his side. It ended in a small shriveled hand, and from as far away as the balcony, I could see that it was no use to him. Tom Robinson has a left arm that he can't use. This is important because Mayella's injuries are, first of all, on the right side of her face. So if someone were to punch her, they would be left-handed. And think about it, Tom Robinson can't use his left hand. The other injury is there are finger marks around her entire throat. If he can't use his left hand, how is he going to use both hands and put them around her throat? Okay, so at this point, we are figuring out there's no possible way Tom Robinson could be guilty. Atticus, at this point, is trying to prove what? And this is an answer you're going to put on your sheet. A, Bob Ewell did not take Mayella to a doctor. B, Bob Ewell could have caused Mayella's injuries and not Tom. C, both A and B. D, I'm not sure. So think about it, pause the recording. Your answer here is B. Atticus is trying to prove that Bob Ewell could have caused Mayella's injuries and not Tom Robinson. Okay, so that's what he's trying to prove here.